Welcome to Mary's place. Secrets don't stay hidden here.
Meet Me at Mary's Place. Written by Kennedy Brown. Marilyn Monroe Barnes is a 17-year-old girl who cannot wait until she leaves the sleepy town of Greer, SC, and begin college. Yet once there, she and her family are dealt a financial skydive, and unlike the commercial, she has no United Negro College Fund. So determined not to have to return as a college dropout, she decides to use what she has to get what she wants, a better life, her roommate. An around-the-way type of girl named Sonia Stiles who invites Marilyn to a night on the town with her and another friend, Arias, who is a very high-maintenance young girl who learns of Marilyn's financial woes, decides to let both girls in on how they can make money the same way she does and indulge in the good life by working for Mary Jackson Savoy, a beautiful, sophisticated, and worldly 40-year-old woman who runs a local club only as a front. What she is in reality is one of the top escort services, only to well-paid older men who are married and unfulfilled. So they seek the company of young eye candy when out of town, in exchange for money, tuition. In other words, sugar daddies. Marilyn jumps in head first, and all seems to work out for all until one of the girls becomes a bit greedy and secretly is no longer content to be under Mary's thumb, and not content with being a sugar baby. She wants to be the sugar mama, Mary, and when Mary finds out, it is not a sweet situation. Marilyn. Chapter 1. Class Act. Marilyn Monroe Barnes. I hear a few surprised chuckles, obviously from the sound of it. Many here did not know my middle name. In fact, had they been in this type of ceremony, they would not be shocked to know I was named for the late, legendary screen goddess. Because I have two older brothers, who are named Cary Grant Barnes and Clark Gable Barnes, and two younger sisters, Dorothy Dandridge Barnes and Nina McKinney Barnes. Our parents were classic movie fanatics, but I felt they showed much more favoritism when naming my brothers, named for gorgeous matinee idols, whereas my sisters and I were named for beautiful women, who all met the same fate: mental issues, man issues, and then drugs followed by suicide. But today was my graduation day, and I strutted across that stage as if I owned it. I was now a graduate of Greer Senior High and proud of it. But truth be told, I was ready to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee and get my summer underway and out of the way. I was leaving for college in late July. Well, actually, it was an all-girls college, and there was no boys allowed in the dorm rooms at Cook University in Tarleton, Virginia, but that was not even a worry for me, because, although I had a dorm room there, I was gonna do what I wanted, when I wanted, and as long as I kept my 3.8 GPA, I knew I would not have my parents curse me out or take me out and have me attend college close by and live at home. I figured as long as my parents spoiled me rotten, I could at least do that for them, because as much as I loved Greer, South Carolina, I had no intention of ever moving back there, at least not anytime soon. That was a year and a half ago. Now, my life has changed in many ways. Sometimes I don't even recognize myself in the mirror. I chose materialism instead of an education, so I landed a job in the oldest profession. It pays great, and the benefits are even better, so I try to tell myself, yet myself even tells me I am full of it. Sonia Danielle Stiles. Chapter 2. I was so ready to get the hell out of this hellhole of a home. I have no life of my own. What I have are 6 younger siblings, and the only ones that have the same father are the twins, Brent and Trent, who are a year younger than I am. They both work great jobs now, and the 3 of us have a system where they work, and I watch the younger kids, because our mom is now living with her new husband, Izar Fernandez, in his 1-bedroom apartment, and I know it sounds like she abandoned her kids, but far from it. My mom will be moving back into our home in 6 months, after she divorces Izar. My mom has been married 4 times, strictly for the purpose of money. She married men who needed to become U.S. citizens, and after they become legal, they divorce and my mom gets paid. Trouble is a few of these paid-for marriages also resulted in unpaid for children, but I have been away from that life of babysitting and having no life of my own, and I must say, once I realized if I used what I have, then I could and would have anything I wanted. At least that is how I see it. Too bad I am too blind to see the forest for the trees. Or is it that I am not wanting to see? Arias Shamara Bruster. I am so glad to get the hell away from Spartanburg S.C. Of course, Virginia is not across the globe. It will be a welcome change, meaning I could stop lying to everyone, my family and friends. Think I spent so much time at the West Side Branch Library, studying so very hard that I won a full scholarship to Cook University. But if you were in my graduating class, then you would know I graduated by the thinnest margin allowed. But each report card would be a duplicate, with the grades I altered and the real one, the one with the forged signature. Juanita M. Bruster, which is my mom's name, work, is an airline stewardess and is away from home 3 weeks out of the month. My father died 6 years ago from a heart attack, but before he passed away, he was a loan officer at Spartanburg First National Bank, and although he is gone, he made sure my mom, brothers, and I would not be pressed in the financial department. Problems with that was my mom was allergic to spending money, so she would deposit each check every month. Her job paid the bills and kept us comfortable, and although myself, my younger brothers, Terrian and Stephen, Jr., were receiving checks each month, our mom would give us our monthly allowance of $200, and the rest went to our college fund. But since I got a full scholarship, at least that's my story, and I am sticking to it. Truth is, I had to pay for my tuition, which I decided to do. Mom was so proud that she granted me full access to my trust fund and bragged on my accomplishments, and since most of my family lived out of town, my mom called, bragged, and everyone gushed over my intelligence. I am very intelligent, but I am more ambitious than anything else. I had just 2 things on my mind, and school was the farthest thing on my mind. I had a plan, and it would work out fine, as long as I was new to Virginia, and Virginia was new to me. Thank God for the social media job search. In fact, I had already been hired online by a company that seemed to cater to employee and ambition, living well, while someone else did the manual labor. I had already rented an apartment 10 minutes away from the campus of the school. After all, I would be stupid to even try to live in a dorm room when I only had 1 class. So I rented a small residential suite from my job I had lined up in Virginia. My employer was a sleek businesswoman by the name of Mary Savoy Jackson, and this story is far from the story I would be telling had I not gotten out of Spartanburg, or Sparkle City, as many refer to it. But the sparkle was too dim to keep me there. It was not until later would I learn, all that shines ain't gold. So if you want the truth, I can show you better than tell you. Meet me at Mary's place and see how it all began as sweet sugar babies, catering to unfulfilled wealthy sugar daddies, and how quickly it can go from bittersweet to sour, in the blink of an eye. Present day 2017. Maryland. I looked at the flashing screen and saw the code 304, and the instruction from sender was turned upside down, which made no damn sense. But this is the 3rd text I have received, and either someone has the wrong number, or my silly-ass sisters, Dottie or Nina. Since I have been away from Greer, South Carolina, they have been bugging me about a weekend in Virginia, so it would stand to reason it would be one of them, because my 2 newbie berries, Sonia and Arias, were still in class, so I decided to call home and threaten to revoke their invitations. But truth be told, I miss them just as much as they claim to miss me. Plus, I wanted my besties to meet them. I was walking to my car when I heard Sonia's loud but sophisticated ass calling out my name, Marilyn. Hold up. I need to hitch a ride. Darren is on his bullshit. Had my car repossessed. She huffed and puffed as she plopped her ass down. Girl, what did you do this time? I giggled. May have, or may not have, called his house, and Barbara answered. I hung up. So why did you not hit *67? Because I wanted her to answer anyway. So I asked to speak with Mr. Darren Collins. She got all THISISM REST and COLLINS and WHSDVRN VOLVSMYHSBN VOLVSME. And I went for the jugular. I told her to let him know his VD results were negative. Looking at Sonia, I damn near lost control of my car. I was laughing so damn hard. I had to laugh to keep from crying, because Sonia was dead as serious about her cash and more serious about messing up a happy home, especially if they cut into her hard-earned finances. I just hoped that my sisters being around this weekend will keep Sonia on her best behavior. As far as Arias is concerned, she was not going to be anything but herself, and that is what I admired most about her. Between the three of us, she was more like the big sister of Sonia and I guess she was a bit more quiet, but I also felt, in spite of my love for her, I feel that she is ambitious to a whole other level than Sonia and I. But I have to admit, had it not been for Arias, Sonia and I would not be in school, since my dad was paralyzed in a car wreck last year, and I would not have been able to continue my education. She hooked both Sonia and me up with an invitation to stay with her. She lived off campus, just how she could afford such a swanky townhouse. Sonia voiced this to Arias, who told us about her job, and soon after, she got Sonia and I hired on the spot by Mary Jackson. Once I saw this woman's lifestyle, I knew exactly how Arias could afford the residence. She now shared with Sonia and I, $1,000 each. Utilities were taken care of by the office of Mary Jackson's nightclub, Mary's Club Savoy. It is the nicest gentleman bar in Virginia, and for 3 young, single, and cash-strapped students, Ms. Mary paid very well. And add that with tips from patrons from V.I.P., the bar also served as a hideaway, private areas for an all. There, anything goes. Sonia snapped me out of my inner thoughts. Where is Arias? I had no idea. Maybe she had to work over this evening. She mentioned having a rescheduled meeting. I don't know why she is always sending money to her on-again off-again boyfriend, Carrie. Please, she sends that money home for her Aunt Eunice to put into an account in Spartanburg, so she will have it to fall back on. Smart child, please. Now that you mention it, she gets 2 different bank statements in the mail. One comes to the apartment, another to a post office box. I shook my head and told her that my sisters were coming in, but she insisted that we make it a girls' weekend. She even booked a $700 a night suite in the Basari Estates Manor. Quite swank, but I knew the real reason, and I am not insulted. The truth is, she does not know Dottie and Nina, although they are my sisters. Arias only trusted 3 people, me, Sonia, and her Aunt Eunice. Also, she knew I was close to my sisters, and they would want answers as to what type of job Sonia, Arias, and I have that we could afford to pay $3,000 a month and wear expensive designer clothes. Not to mention I have a MasterCard and American Express, both of which have $5,000 each uploaded monthly. And my 2017 BMW is leased until next year, when I get an upgrade. But Trust One would never pull out my iPhone to call a client's phone. That is biting the hand that feeds you. My phone went off again as I pulled up to the bus terminal to pick up my 2 goofy little sisters. When the 304 digit came through, I groaned. Who is texting the 304 area code to me? I said while showing Sonia. Sonia would know what anything meant. She told me to hold it upside down. Sonia laughed. That is no area code. Somebody calling you a hoe. I am glad she could get her 7 chuckles on it, while trying to sober herself before my 2 homebuddy sisters got to the car. Here they come. I squealed. Both Sonia and I got out to greet them. They were so sweet and innocent, almost childlike, kind of, my babies. When they saw the car they were in awe. So sweet. Now I know why I get homesick. I miss them. Dottie was sitting behind me oohing and awing at everything. Nina was asking all kind of questions, like I knew she would. Then she said, "Damn, are y'all prostitutes?" Both Dottie and Sonia burst out laughing with Nina. When we pulled into the parking area of Basari, both girls whistled, gave each other a high five, and said in unison, "Prostitutes."
gotta get that money. Get money, my niggas. It takes money to make money. Well, my
EmmaParaLeeInc Summertime Cook Eat Out Anthology. SamKookFan68@gmail.com KennedyLovesSam@yahoo.com. Where the streets tell their own truth. 3. Agreed May Barnes. Mary Cooper kept fanning. Shirley and Mac was asleep. Upright. In the good chair, the wide wicker one closest to the fan that everyone wanted, and Shirley Ann always claimed first because she arrived first specifically to claim it. With her good earrings on and her edges laid and her dignity for the moment fully intact, they let her sleep for 11 minutes. It was peaceful. It was almost sweet. Eunice's duplex porch held the quiet like it was made for it. And then Shirley Ann woke up. She opened her eyes, looked around, took in the four faces, took in the wide familiar porch, took in the box fan and the sweating glasses and the faint smell of somebody's ruined chicken drifting on the afternoon air. And something in her brain misfired. She did not know where she was. She did not recognize these women. What she did know, what Shirley and Mac always knew, conscious or otherwise, was that she had opinions and they were primed, loaded, and ready for deployment. She pointed at Eunice first. "Who is this?" she said. "Sitting up here on this big old porch like she owned the place." "I do own the place," said Eunice flatly. "It's a duplex. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking about you. There is a difference, let me finish." She turned. "And this one," the finger swung to Evelyn Virginia. "Why is she so loud? I can hear her and I don't even know her and I don't want to know her. Does she come with a volume? Does somebody have a remote?" EmmaParaLeeInc Summertime Cook Eat Out Anthology. SamKookFan68@gmail.com KennedyLovesSam@yahoo.com. Where the streets tell their own truth. 4. Evelyn Virginia stood up from her chair. "Shirley and Mac, I will remove you from this porch personally." "It's not your porch," Shirley Ann said. "It's the big porch lady's porch, and she should be more selective about her guests." Eunice pinched the bridge of her nose. "Lord." Loud. Shirley Ann repeated at Evelyn Virginia as a point of record and moved on. She looked at May Barnes. May Barnes looked back. There was a long pause. "This one," Shirley Ann said carefully, "looks like she knows something. I don't like it. She's sitting there with that smile like she already won something, and I don't trust a woman who smiles like that. What does she know? What did she do? Somebody watch your purse and your business and possibly your man." May Barnes smiled wider, slow and sure as sunrise. "See." Shirley Ann pointed. "See that right there? That is not an innocent woman. Somebody needs to investigate her immediately." She turned last to Mary Cooper, who had not stopped fanning, had not raised her voice, had not altered her expression even slightly, and appeared to be in a state of spiritual elevation that this entire scene had not touched. Shirley Ann squinted hard. "This one looks holy," she said with profound suspicion. "Which means she's done something and already repented, and now she's just sitting there clean while the rest of us don't know what she did." "What did you do, Mary? What did you do?" Mary Cooper smiled like a stained glass window on a Sunday morning. "Bless your heart, sweetheart." EmmaParaLeeInc Summertime Cook Eat Out Anthology. SamKookFan68@gmail.com KennedyLovesSam@yahoo.com. Where the streets tell their own truth. 5. Shirley Ann turned to the group. "That's a threat. I want everyone to note that she just threatened me on this big porch." And then all four of them started talking at the same time. Eunice said Shirley Ann needed Jesus, water, and to be removed from the good wicker chair. Evelyn Virginia was on her feet and loud about being called loud, which was not helping, and everyone could see that except Evelyn Virginia. May Barnes said she wasn't surprised, wasn't bothered, and had, in fact, predicted this at 2:15 that afternoon and had said so to Evelyn, Virginia, who had been too loud to hear her. Mary Cooper said, "Now, ladies," twice, which for Mary Cooper was practically a riot. Shirley Ann looked around at all of them and something behind her. I slowly came back online. The duplex porch came into focus. The box fan. The sweating glasses. These 4 faces. Her 4 faces. Oh Lord. Wait, said Shirley and Mac. The porch went quiet. Eunice. What? I know you. You live here. This is your porch. It is a duplex, and yes, it is my porch, and you have been sitting on it every Saturday for 11 years, and I would like an apology. Evelyn, Virginia. I am still here and still loud, and I will be loud till they put me in the ground, and the nerve. May Barnes. May Barnes nodded once. The smile didn't move. Never moved. That smile was permanent and load-bearing. Mary Cooper. Still saved, baby. Still interceding on your behalf. Been doing it since you picked up that cup.
Welcome to Mary's place. Secrets don't stay hidden here. I love how the pink makes everything pop.
You always ignore me!
That's not true. Stop blaming me.